Welcome to today's episode of Insights with Afia. This is my YouTube show and I'm really happy that you're watching it. What have I made this YouTube show for? Well, leadership is my passion. And this is an opportunity for me to share my 20 years of experience in leadership and leadership development with anybody who's interested in leadership, in a leadership position themselves, owns a company that has leaders. In fact, just about anybody that knows that leadership is an important part of their life, then I hope and believe this show is going to help you. Now, today's episode is just me. In future episodes, we'll be having guests, but today it's just me. And I'm going to be covering, the topic of leadership. Of course, you can't cover everything to do with leadership in one episode, but I hope that the insights I'm going to share with you today will make a real difference to you. People might wonder, why leadership? People know me for a lot of things, and if you follow me on any of my social media accounts, at Abdurahman Afia, you will find that I'm well known for many things. One of them is leadership. But why is it that I'm so passionate about leadership? Well, I'll tell you a story. Back in 2001, I had zero interest in anything to do with leadership. I was very happy working as a trainer, helping people to become more competent in learning the English language. That was my job. Now, after a year of doing my job and loving it and really doing very, very well, I walked into work one day. When I walked into work, there was a lovely colleague behind the desk. His name was Abdurahman. I always remember him from Eritrea. Really wonderful man. I walked past him as usual to go to my class. He said to me, Abdurahman, no. Don't go to your class. You have to go into Zach's office. Now, Zach was my manager. Canadian. Very nice guy. I said, Abdurahman, why do I have to go to see? I thought maybe I'd done something wrong, right? Why do I have to go to Zach's office? I've got a class to teach. He said, no, go and sit in Zach's office, please. I said, Abdurahman, why? I don't understand. I've got a class to go to. I'm going to be late. He said, Abdurahman, Zach left the company last night. He had a conversation with the CEO. It didn't go particularly well. And one thing led to another. And Zach's going back to Canada. They have asked you to sit in his space and take over his position until they find somebody. I said, oh, come on, you're joking. Well, what am I going to do? I don't know anything about management. Like, give me a break. He said, no, you really need to go and sit in that office. Now, Zach had a beautiful office. I mean, it was really nice in the city of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. This office, I walked past this office, remember, every day for a year, numerous times. Big glass windows, huge desk. I mean, big armchairs. It was an office to behold, a really nice office. But I'd always gone in there standing on, one side of the desk, certainly not the seat that Zach would always sit in. Now I was being asked to go and sit in his seat. I said, all right, I'll do it. I don't want to. Definitely don't want to be a manager, but I'll do it. So I went and sat down like I'm sitting down now. And there was no internet in those days. So this is 2001. We didn't have internet in the office. And I sat down and did what I'm doing now. Just looked around and didn't know what to do. Absolutely no idea. Nobody told me what to do. So I just sat there and I sat there and I sat there. My colleagues that I would usually be, in the staff room with were walking past my office. And when they were walking past, because it had big glass windows, they were stopping and saying, what? And all I could do is say to them, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. And it was funny for a little while, but then it started to get a bit boring. And then after it got boring, it started to get a bit frustrating. Like I can't do anything. I can't solve any problems. I don't even know, literally have no idea what I'm doing. So anyway, the day went by. It was absolutely, rubbish day. Didn't do anything. Missed my students and wanted to get back into class. Came back in the next day, same thing. Go and sit in Zach's office. Third day, go and sit in Zach's office. I started to think, this is ridiculous. I didn't come here for this. This isn't why I joined this organization. This is not what I want to do. By the end of the week, I didn't have much to do, but I had a lot to think about. So I started thinking, well, how much was Zach getting paid? He was definitely getting paid more than I was getting paid, right? I think he got more vacation than I got as well. all right, telling people what to do, being a manager. Maybe I could do this, maybe. So I went downstairs and I spoke to the CEO. And I said to him, Dr. Hatim, Dr. Hatim, listen, you've asked me to sit in Zach's place temporarily. And I've done it for a week. And everything's gone really well, as if I had anything to do with that. It's just nothing had gone well. It just things hadn't gone wrong. So I said to him, if I was to do a great job, a really good job of managing, will you give me the job? I mean, is this something that's on the plate for me? He said, Abdurahman, to be honest, of course, we're looking for somebody with real experience. I said, no, I get that. I understand that. But if you don't find anybody and I do a really good job, do I have a chance? He said, yeah, you do. I said, that's it. I'm going to show you, Dr. Hatim. I'm going to show you what a good manager I am. And I left his office for whatever reason with a complete mind shift change. I mean, I felt motivated and I thought this could really change my life. You know, I'll get a better car. I'll go on holiday more. I'll be able to, you know, my family was growing. I had young children then. My children are a bit, you know, bigger than, well, they're all adults now. But at that time, they were small. I was thinking, yeah, I'll start a university trust fund for them. This is going to be life-changing. So for the next 3 months, I put everything I had, blood, sweat, and tears, into being the best manager that I could be. I worked day and night. We actually had to work a split shift, which meant going in the morning from 9 to 12, and then you'd go home and you'd stay at home and have lunch for a few hours, and then you go back to work from 4 to 8 or 5 to 9. It wasn't much fun, but I didn't care, because I was giving it my all. And I did. I stayed up late at night. I thought of everything I could do to make more money for the company, to make more sales for the company. I killed myself. It was hard. And you know what? After 3 months, I was the most hated person in the organization. Nobody liked me. Nobody would listen to me. Nobody would do anything I asked them to do. I remember I had one of my colleagues. He had a PhD. Very, very nice guy, but very, you know, he had a PhD, and here I was without a PhD, to say the least. And I remember saying to him one day, I won't say his name. I said to him, you need to go now. You've got a class. He said, no, I don't. I said, no, you do. You need to go to your class. He said, I'm not doing anything you say. I said, all right, let's try this again, shall we? Go to your class. Because in my mind, I was thinking, I'm the manager. You have to do what I say. I've got the authority in my hand. So if I have the authority, that should translate into you doing what you're told. Because all those 3 months, I hadn't had anybody to tell me how to lead people, how to manage a team. I just went based on doing my best. And I really did my best. I thought, what would my father do in this situation? What did I used to see people doing in television shows? You know, I just tried my best to be a good manager. But to me, a good manager was telling people what to do, and it just didn't work. So this guy would tell me, I'm not doing anything you say. And I remember I went down to the CEO's office and I said, Dr. Hatim, we've got a problem. Let's give him a name. His name's Ahmed, but I swear his name was not Ahmed. And if he's watching, you know who you are. So let's say the name Ahmed. So I went downstairs and I said, Dr. Hatim, I said, we need to get rid of Ahmed. He said, what are you talking about? We have to get rid of him, Dr. Ahmed. I told him he's got a class. I told him his schedule's like this. He looked me in the face and he said, I'm not doing it. He said, okay. I said, no, let me explain. He said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do anything you say. I couldn't care less. He won't do anything I say. How can I work with somebody like this? We need to terminate him. He said to me, okay, go back to your office. Please go back to your office and just wait for me. I said, all right. So I went back to my office feeling pretty confident that this was going to be Ahmed's last day working with me, right? I'd show him. And that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. Nobody came to my office that day. I went home feeling pretty dejected, pretty low. I came back into work. And you know, sometimes you go into work and you know that something's going on, but nobody's saying anything to you. I had that feeling that everybody was looking at me a little bit differently that day. I thought to myself, wow, maybe I blew it with Dr. Hatim. Maybe I was too aggressive in trying to get rid of this guy. I didn't know what to think, but I went and sat in the office. Nobody came in to see me. Abdurahman didn't come in to see me. It was dead. Then I got a phone call. The phone call was from the franchise support manager of the Middle East. a gentleman called Khalil Campbell. Khalil called me and he said, Abdurahman, we need to talk. And instantly I knew what was happening. Instantly. He was from the UK. We're both from London. There was something about his voice. I understood what this meant. I guess this is my last day. I guess this is our blowing it, right? I mean, ultimately, nobody's doing anything I say. Everything's going down the drain. Nothing's going right in the company right now. I guess this is my last day. He said, we need to talk, Abdurahman. He came down from Riyadh and he flew down to Jeddah. When he came down, I was ready for him. I had pretty much everything packed up. I didn't have much in the office anyway, I remember, but I had things packed up and I was ready for it. I braced myself. I let my wife know, babe, this could be the end. And Khalil came in and he said, we need to talk. I said, yeah, you mentioned that on the phone, Khalil. He said, yeah, we need to train you in leadership. We need to help you understand what leadership is. I said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a leader. I'm a manager. That's what I do. I've been trying to manage, and I tried to tell him all the problems I've had. He said, Abdurahman, forget everything. Leadership is learnt. And it's my responsibility to help you learn what leadership is. And they put me on a leadership development program. I remember, in fact, Khalil himself, and, he knows how grateful I am to him till this day. We still keep in contact. So Khalil, nothing but so much love for you, for what you did for me. Khalil was the person who was responsible for the light bulb moment, for turning on, in my mind, the understanding and the awareness of what leadership is. And once I started to learn what leadership was, I started to realize not only what a terrible leader I had been, but how many terrible leaders there are. And then I realized, well, hold on. You guys catapulted me into a leadership position to take over from Zach. And I came to you and said, can I do it? And you said, yes, but nobody stopped to think, wait, this guy doesn't know anything about leadership. He was training people in how to speak English. Now he's leading teams. Nobody stopped to think this could get messy. This is a dangerous thing to do. So it was that experience there back in 2001 that ignited my love for leadership. And it's since then that I've been involved, whether it's directly or indirectly, in helping people to become not just managers, but really effective leaders. And that's why leadership is my passion. I know what a difference it makes when somebody is shown and somebody is developed. That light bulb moment, that's what I love. And I guess that's why I'm speaking to you today, because I want to bring what I know and share it with you. And that's why we called the show Insights with Afia.